What's up, guys? This is Lee. Although I've been posting videos about my Miltoniopsis that are in bloom quite a lot, I've never really posted a video about how I keep my Miltoniopsis specifically, kind of a care tutorial. So that's why I thought today I'm going to give you a care tutorial how I grow my Miltoniopsis, and this is a call-up care call-up thing, and I hope you guys like it. So Miltoniopsis is an orchid from the Oncidium Alliance, which is really beautiful. The flowers are about 9 centimeters or 3.5 inch in diameter and have this pansy-like look. The lip has a beautiful waterfall, and the Miltoniopsis typically has a very nice and strong rose-like fragrance, which is actually why I like the Miltoniopsis very much. If you look up in the internet, you'll find the natural habitat is somewhere in South America, from hot and humid lowlands to cooler cloud forest, and it's a cool to intermediate grower. Some people say 16 to 24 degrees Celsius or 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Some people even say up to 29 degrees Celsius is okay. And the Miltoniopsis will even survive shorter periods up to 32 degrees. That's what they say. Humidity-wise, it should be 70 to 80%. The minimum should be 50 to 60%. As far as light is concerned, what I found was 1,000 to 2,000 foot candles. And watering, yeah, they say it should be evenly moist, kept evenly moist, whatever evenly moist means. It was kind of hard for me to find out what they really mean by that. I think it's they mean the roots should never get completely dry, but I think they also mean within the orchid pot the humidity should be evenly spread if as far as possible. So fertilizer, what I found in the internet was some people fertilize with 85 ppm and other people fertilize up to 200 ppm. So this is basically the information that I found on the internet. This is a call-up care video, and other YouTube orchid growers will also post on their channels how they grow their Miltoniopsis in their countries under their conditions, and I hope this helps you find your way of growing your Miltoniopsis in your country, since we all know Miltoniopsis are not the easiest orchids to grow. They're kind of fuzzy, or they have the reputation to be. The YouTube growers, no, YouTube orchid growers are Hello Plant Lovers, G's Orchids, Orchid SaGa, Attainable Green, Mad by Nature, Rogers Orchids, and Inorganic Media. I hope you guys check out their YouTube channels too. I'll link the videos down below. With that being said, let's get started. So this is my grow space in the kitchen. It's an IKEA Billy rack that is fitted with fans and artificial light. I grow most of my orchids under artificial light, except for the felts. They just sit on the windowsill, eastern-facing windowsill, and some Oncidium tiny twinkles. They're also sitting on a windowsill, and let's check this out. Right now temperature here in the kitchen is 26.57 degrees. It's summer here in Germany, and it does get a lot hotter here during the summer. Actually, my kitchen is not very well insulated, right? That's the right word. And So the temperatures go as high as 32 degrees in summer, and it's really quite something for the Miltoniopsis to take. In the winter it is cooler, but it doesn't go below 22. So that's the temperature range. How I grow my Miltoniopsis is 22 to 32 degrees, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard for the Miltoniopsis to take, I guess. Humidity wise, you can see it's 51% right now. It's normally high, it's about 60%, but right now the doors are open, the balcony door is open, the kitchen door is open, just to let the kitchen cool down a bit. And let's check out the light. This is foot candles. No, this is not foot candles. I have to switch to foot candles. So this is foot candles. Don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see. It's about 1,000, if I lift it up a bit where the tips of the leaves are, 1,000 to 1,200 something. So this is the amount of light my Miltoniopsis are getting, and I think it's okay. I used to have that pink grow light, which really didn't do the job all that well for the Miltoniopsis. They didn't really bloom. But after I changed this to the white light, it is much better. The Miltoniopsis are growing, blooming twice a year. But the summer bloom is very poor. The size of the flowers are much smaller and the numbers are much lower, like 2 or 3 on each spike, whereas in the wintertime the flowers are larger, and the numbers, you have like 4 to 6, or at my friend Andre's place even up to 8 flowers on one spike, but then his place is a lot cooler than mine. So we've talked about light and humidity and temperature. Now let's talk about media. I currently keep my Miltoniopsis in 3 different type of media. On the right side is a mixture of bark, ceramis, and dead sphagnum moss. In the middle it's leca, and on the left side it's live sphagnum moss. All the 3 types I keep in self-watering, so that I'm not soaking them. I know it's probably better to soak your orchids, but I just don't have the time to do so, so I'm doing the lazy way of keeping them, and the poor Miltoniopsis have to adapt, or they just don't. But actually they did adapt, so that's fine. So the first type of media is my mix of ceramis, no, ceramis, you can't see ceramis here. It's a bark, dead sphagnum moss, and ceramis, and it's in a container that has a reservoir, so, and the wicks up the water, and you can see this works really well. There's lots of roots, nothing to complain about. And the roots are alive. This mixture has to be repotted like every year, I think, because the media just decomposes, and then you have to repot it, and that's always a lot of work, and that's why my friend Andre came up with another idea. And the idea is live sphagnum moss. By using live sphagnum moss, my friend Andre hoped that the media stays alive longer, so you don't have to do the repot again and again. And so far this has been working quite well. You can see there's a lot of roots also, and the roots are alive. There's a lot of humidity. It's actually quite wet. It's really soggy, as you can see, but the plant obviously is doing okay with that. This is another plant that I have in live SaGa moss, and it's also quite happy. And then there's Inorganic Media. It's leca pearls. Of course, Inorganic Media doesn't decompose, so you don't have to repot every year. And I've seen videos of other YouTubers who grow their Miltoniopsis in leca pearls successfully, and I think Anna Maria was her name from Miracle Orchids. When I first started with Miltoniopsis, I also tried leca. That's about 4 years ago now, I don't know. I tried growing them on a windowsill and took larger leca pearls. It didn't work at all. The plant just died off. And now a couple of years later, I tried again with leca, but this time I used smaller leca, and I had the artificial light, and it worked. Let me get this closer. This plant bloomed a while ago, and it put out roots too. And again, this is self-watering. I guess the roots are pretty much alive. They look alive. And now the bloom is gone. It put out a new growth on this side and here, and here too. This is actually kind of an experiment. It was a larger plant, and I just broke into a couple of pieces. And this is another part. It did survive, put out two new growths, put out some roots. But would I recommend growing them in leca? I don't think so. Because as you can see, there's a lot of mold. I don't know if you can see it. A lot of mold here on the surface. Here, and the plant doesn't look happy at all. And I think it's just somehow too wet, or I don't know. I mean, live SaGa moss is also very, very wet, but they don't have this kind of white stuff on the surface. So I don't think I will pot any more Miltoniopsises into leca. As for these two, they are already adjusted to leca. That's okay, I'll just leave them be. But for others, I'm not gonna repot them into leca. So lately, my friend Andre and I have been thinking how we can optimize our way of growing Miltoniopsises, how we can maximize the reservoir so we don't have to water all that often, because even right now we have to water every week, which is quite a lot of work. So we came up with the idea of just 3D printing a pot that fits into this very cheap glass that I bought on eBay. And this has a little wig that draws the water to the live SaGa moss. And as you can see, the reservoir is about, what, 4 or 5 centimeters high. That should be enough water for about 2 to 3 weeks, so we don't have to water, which is quite nice. And the live SaGa moss is growing quite well under the artificial light. I'm not gonna lie, one problem I encounter though is that this way of keeping is quite humid, it's quite wet. And if you have too many, that's what I'm thinking at least, if you have too many orchids, one and one and another one, actually put very, very close together in your rack because you don't have enough space. As we all do, we don't have enough space. We squeeze our Miltoniopsis into a rack or wherever we grow our plants, or I at least do, because I have too many of them. Then you get these dark brownish spots, and I think there's some kind of fungus or whatever that is. And when I put some plants out and gave them more space, then the spots, after treatment of course, wouldn't reappear. So what's the resume? I think for me right now, the most attractive way to grow my Miltoniopsis is indeed in live SaGa moss, in a self-watering container under artificial light. But I will have to reduce the number of Miltoniopsis that I have so that they don't get these brown spots. Okay guys, this is how I grow my Miltoniopsis. I hope you liked it. Wait, I forgot. Fertilizer. So fertilizer. First of all, I'm using reverse osmosis water, and I fertilize with every watering actually. But since the plant is sitting in this fertilized water all the time, I'm not going that far up to say I've heard people fertilize their Miltoniopsis with 200 ppm, but that's because they're just soaking. So the plant is exposed to that high concentration of fertilizer only for a short time. With my plants, they're sitting in this fertilizer all the time. So I'm only fertilizing with 50 ppm. My friend Andre said once you try to go further up than 50, and then the roots just burned and died. So that's why we're only keeping our Miltoniopsis in 50 ppm fertilized water. Alright, that's really it now. I hope you guys liked the video and it helped you in some way, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye!